Have you ever looked at a professionally designed interior and thought, why does this look so good? Maybe you saw a photo on Instagram or Pinterest that you tried to recreate. You bought all the right furniture and decor, but for some reason, space still fell flat and it didn't have the same pizzazz. What is it that designers get right that make a home feel so different? Hey there, I'm Jennalee and welcome back to my channel where I talk about all things interior design and how to create a home with character and confidence. So first, we're going to be talking about the pitfalls of comparing your home to professionally photographed and designed spaces. Then we're going to talk about the custom finishes and the architectural details that really bring a home to life. How designers define and clarify spaces, the small yet often visible details that make a huge difference, and how to really step back so that you can reassess your space and understand why it feels off. Before we talk about what designers get right, we first have to address some pitfalls because a lot of the frustration can stem from comparing your home to spaces that aren't playing by the same rules. Many of the homes you see on Instagram or Pinterest or in a magazine are professionally photographed with editorial style photography, meaning they're photographed to tell a story and communicate an overall design concept. Or they're staged for the camera or a magazine and not for real life. Professionally photographed interiors don't always reflect how people actually live on a daily basis. That often means that the styling is not practical. A perfectly styled bookshelf or tray or coffee table looks amazing in a photo, but in reality, it's just going to sit there and collect dust. The shelves are often filled with aesthetically pleasing objects that may or may not actually reflect the homeowner's personal taste. They're there to enhance the overall visual of the photograph. Another pitfall to be aware of is that a lot of the homes that you see online or in magazines, especially new built and large-scale renovations, these usually belong to clients with significant budgets. These projects often have hundreds of thousands, if not millions of dollars poured into them. I've actually had lots of clients come to me who were on a shoestring budget with inspirational photos from high-end designer homes, wanting that exact same look. And while designers can certainly make a home look beautiful on a budget, there's a huge difference between a $30,000 budget and a $1 million budget. And so I don't say that to discourage anybody or to imply that you need tons of money to do a beautiful renovation. I say it so that you can compare realistically, so that you understand that what you're seeing is a combination of design decisions and budget. So it's not just about the money. What is it about? So in professionally designed interiors, you'll often see an emphasis on customization. And I don't just mean picking out your favorite artwork or your favorite lounge chair. I'm talking about the interior elements and the interior architectural details that are integrated within the space. These details, such as millwork, paneling, built-ins, ceiling treatments, give a home structure, character, and identity. They make the space feel intentionally designed, not just for the homeowner, but for the home itself. So let me give you an example. Imagine a living room with a TV mounted on a white wall and a console underneath. Clearly, that pairing and within the living room is supposed to act as the focal point within that space. However, something still feels unfinished or off. The TV and the console feel like they're just floating on a big white wall. What's missing is hierarchy and background detail. The wall is actually the largest element that you see in that grouping. And because it's empty, neutral, and it's the largest element, your eye is immediately drawn to the unfinished wall than the actual focal point. And a lot of people try to fix this by adding a bunch of artwork around the TV or placing a bunch of decor around the console and on the console. The truth is, no matter how much decor or artwork you add around the space, it's never going to feel complete because it actually even draws more attention to the fact that this space feels incomplete. Now watch what happens when you add a board and batten paneling to the wall, or a picture frame molding, a tongue and groove paneling. Suddenly the wall feels intentional and anchored, even if it's still a neutral color. The focal point now has a strong visual backdrop and it feels finished, elevated, and custom without changing the furniture at all. Now, architectural details can show up in a variety of ways within professionally designed interiors, from walls to ceilings to base and trim, even to built-in bookcases. These are the type of details that designers lean into over and over again throughout their projects. Unfortunately, many newer homes today are built pretty generic and plain. They don't feature a lot of architectural detail or focal points. points. And it can trick you into thinking the only way to upgrade is to add more furniture, add more decor, when the reality is that your room is craving character and details. I actually have a video talking about how many homes today do lack that architectural and that custom finish. So if you guys are interested, make sure to check out this video here. Now, the great news is that you can actually add these elements within your space very easily. Pre-cut molding, decorative wall panels, and simple DIY millwork you can easily get from places like Lowe's or Home Depot. When you start to layer in these custom details, your home instantly starts to feel more professionally designed. Another big difference that differentiates a professionally designed interior from one that's not is how clearly each space is defined. So many homes feel unfinished or chaotic simply because the purpose of that room is not clearly defined. You walk into the living room and you're not sure if it's the living room, a part-time game room, part-time workout room, the pet zone, or the kids' playroom. When too many activities compete in one room without a clear strategy, harmony of the space is disrupted. Harmony is the visual cohesiveness between elements within a room. In other words, it makes everything feel like it belongs together within a space. Designers can still achieve clarity by being intentional about primary and secondary functions. For example, if a room is primarily a living room, the main pieces that support the function of a living room are the sofa, the accent chairs, the side table, the coffee table. So that needs to be clearly identified within the living room space. And it's usually centered around a focal point. That might be the fireplace or a TV wall or a large window. So instead of everything overlapping within one room, create intentional storage for the secondary items within that space. So the kids' toys could be placed in a bin. The gaming system could be stored in the TV console. The dog bed could be moved behind the sofa. The gym equipment could be removed. Now it's contained and the space has boundaries. The same applies to your home office. If it's doing double duty as an overflow for storage, as your home office, or even maybe a part-time little guest room, it can quickly feel chaotic. Designers will usually establish the desk as the primary anchor, since its primary purpose is to serve as the home office. And then, of course, hiding all that overflow storage. So instead of open shelving, move to closed shelving. This is how designers make homes feel intentional and professionally done. They define what each room is primarily going to be used for. Then they layer in the secondary function in a controlled yet visually cohesive way. Now, intentional design is one of the primary reasons why I created my interior collections. These collections are pre-designed interiors fully curated by me, from furnishings to lighting to artwork, accessories, and even guidance on cabinetry styles and finishes. Everything is designed to work together so that you're not having to guess if the coffee table is to scale with the sofa or if the tile is going to go with the bathroom paint finish. And the best part is that you can easily swap out pieces that meet your budget or timeline better while still maintaining the overall intended design look and feel. If you're someone who is struggling to pull together a cohesive design for your home, but you want it to look professionally designed, make sure to head on over to my website for more information on that. I'll make sure to leave a link in the description below. Okay, let's get back into what makes designer homes so different. Another hallmark of professionally designed homes is how well they're planned around the homeowner's lifestyle, especially when it comes to storage and real life items. One thing you'll notice when looking at a designer space is that many of the small or everyday things are hidden or disguised or thoughtfully integrated within a space. You rarely see TV cords, lamp cords, and phone chargers. Sometimes cords are actually edited out of professionally photographed interiors if they're in the way. But often designers have already planned how to get around these eyesores. They usually plan where the cords are going to run: behind the sofa, under a rug, through a piece of furniture, so they don't visually clutter the space. Clutter is one of the quickest ways to actually make your home feel less professionally designed. In professionally designed homes, you don't see the kids' homework piled all over the dining table. You don't see water bottles, chargers, random items piled on different surfaces. You don't see humidifiers, air purifiers in obvious spaces. You don't see appliances and gadgets permanently camping out on main surfaces. And it's not that those items don't actually exist. It's that designers create systems and storage so that they can be put away. In many non-designer homes, comfort is often considered first over aesthetics, which is understandable. But the spaces that feel truly elevated blend a combination of both aesthetics and comfort. Function and beauty are designed together from the beginning, not as an afterthought. As you can see, designing a well-designed space isn't always about the most expensive furniture or artwork or having the most money. It's about making practical and intentional decisions that coordinate with your lifestyle. I'd love to hear from you. How have you tried to make your home feel more professionally designed? Let me know in the comments below. So if you're looking to create a home with character, confidence, and cohesion and without the overwhelm, make sure to subscribe. That's exactly what I talk about here every week on this channel. All right, I'll see you guys in the next video.